especially this. Look, most conspiracy theories these days, I just kind of roll my eyes at. They're not like the conspiracy theories of old, right? There's no JFK conspiracy theory these days that you could really get into with a little meat. But most everything has already happened in this presidential race except for an October surprise, a black swan event. Especially, and I think those of you that are into the deep state and all of that stuff will find this fascinating. Those of you that think that Barack Obama has silently been pulling the puppet strings on the Biden administration, I found this one fascinating, right? One of my coworkers, who will remain anonymous, brought this up to me, but this is a coworker, heavily leaning conservative, and goes down those rabbit holes of conspiracy theories online. Told me about the belief that this is what the October surprise will be. You ready for it? Well, this person believes that something will force Joe Biden to step down. A health issue, what have you. Sometime between now and probably would have to be the middle of October. And then Kamala Harris would raise her right hand and be sworn in as President of the United States. What would that do? Well, if it happens a week or 2, 3 weeks before Election Day, yeah, there would have already been mail-in balloting. Yeah, there would have already been early voting. But then she will be Madam President. And she will hold news conferences, and the media would refer to her as Madam President. All of a sudden, the idea wouldn't be so far-fetched of Kamala Harris as the president because she'd already be the president, right? Something happens to Joe Biden, a health issue comes up. And then I was thinking, wow, Joe Biden is speaking Monday at the Democratic Convention in Chicago, I believe along with Hillary Clinton, also the two main speakers that night. What if he announced that he was stepping down immediately? And then Kamala Harris had to be sworn in to finish out his term as president until January, which would mean she'd be president when all voting started. That alone, that's going to be another close election, right? All the experts predict it'll come down to another few thousand votes again in literally a handful of states. Having that woman who's already broken the glass barrier, right? Doesn't have to worry about the glass ceiling anymore. She's already president. It wouldn't be so far-fetched, would it? And then you've got this. The Daily Mail. 6 in 10 voters say Joe Biden should step down right now as president. A whopping 57% of likely voters say they believe the nation's oldest president should resign immediately, including 47% of Democrats. Is it far-fetched? Well, a lot of people a couple months ago thought it was far-fetched that Joe Biden wouldn't be the nominee. But here we are. So that is the Black Swan event, the October surprise, a conspiracy theory. I don't think it's going to happen, but certainly a thought. And it could sway those few undecided voters, persuadable voters, to, you know what, not so hard to think about Kamala Harris as president because she's already sitting there at the Oval Office taking calls from the media calling her Madam President. Huh? Love to hear what you think about it. We'll take your calls coming up right after the top of the hour news. 866-610-6397, 866-610-NEWS.